everybody. Thanks for watching our video here. I got Sam here, a good buddy here, and he's going to tell us a lot about nutrition today. So first off, I can speak for myself. I don't know a damn thing about nutrition when it comes to running. Could you just tell us a little bit about what is entailed with that?
Sure. Well, first of all, this scotch is not nutrition, but it tastes delicious.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. So nutrition is really about what you need during the race. What turns out is you're running for 2 hours or more, depending if you're going to run a marathon or if you're me, in which case 5 miles is 2 hours.
Yeah.
Your body goes through a lot of minerals and things that it needs to keep itself going. Salt and various other deals. In fact, today we were talking with Tracy as part of our weekly training runs, and she said to me, I'm running this half marathon, I get to mile 10, and all of a sudden I just feel my body go down. Very technical term, but it's called a bonk. And that's when you've basically exhausted your body's reserves of things like sugar and salt and other things. And we'll talk about it a little bit more here shortly, but for example, these items, this is actually 100 calories. For those of you worried about your figure, we're talking about...
That's me.
Yeah, right. you should worry. I'm not going to lie. You should worry more.
Yeah.
But this is only 100 calories. You're going to burn about 1,000, so let's not worry about that too much. But what's interesting is when you look at this, salt tends to be a very serious ingredient, major ingredient in these things. For example, in this little packet, there's as much salt as in a shot glass of...
they're cashews.
Cashews. They're fucking cashews. They're not almonds or pistachios.
No, they're not.
These are
They're
cashews.
not those things.
But you think about how salty these things are. Honestly, that's about as much salt as in one packet of these things.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, and so getting into this, I can say going down the aisle here, it looks like there's a gazillion different types of things you could be picking up here. Would you talk a little bit about what the options are that are out there? And...
Sure. So from just a form perspective, you have really, in my mind, you got three choices. This one is sort of a common shape or size. It's kind of a page. You can kind of see I'm squeezing on it. It's a little bit like if you remember when you were a kid and your mom or dad's making a cake and they got that little
squeezy
Betty
thing.
Crocker thing of icing and you put your finger in it. It's pretty much like that. You have other options like this, this is like a gummy. These are little gummies that are in here. There's some beans, kind of like Jelly Bellies, those kind of deals.
I see.
And then there was one other option I was going to suggest, but it escapes me now. But really what it boils down to is you have the form factor and then you have the ingredients. There's things called stingers, which are honey-based.
Is that kind of like a more of an all-natural sort of a deal?
Yeah, I was just going to say, exactly. This is supposed to be like an organic one.
Yeah.
One thing that I'll just suggest is some of these forms, are really specialized forms, are only available at your running store. Other ones are used so frequently that actually you can find them in your local grocery store.
Okay.
So like this one, for example, Cliff's Shop Blocks. I buy these at Smith's. They're usually down in the health, kind of by your granola bars and stuff like that. It makes it easier for me because I don't have to find the one running store and all Bountiful to track things.
Okay. Well, what do you like out of these things, and why do you like them?
Yeah. So I've tried several.
Yeah.
There used to be there still is. There's a packet like this called GU. That's kind of where I started off. Really popular. My problem with these is it's it coats your mouth. I'm hyperventilating.
Yeah.
You've got all this stuff in your mouth. I need it to go away.
Okay.
Right? These little gels, I can take 2 bites and swallow this thing down and it's gone, and I can get back to hyperventilating and trying to pass out on the side of the road. So
Got it.
I prefer these things. I've done the beans a couple times, but that for whatever reason I guess because I keep thinking I'm just eating a Jelly Belly, I'm having a hard time believing they're actually helping out.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And so then the other thing is how does caffeine figure into all of this?
Yeah. So, Fim said something funny the other day. We were for our weekly run. I said, "Well, I didn't, even get a chance for coffee this morning." He said, "You're gonna run without caffeine? How do you do that?"
Right, I get that.
And
I second that.
Yeah, for sure. I think it really boils down to how much of a role caffeine plays in your diet. I drink coffee constantly.
Me too.
So some people are like, "Oh, I don't like caffeine. It makes me jittery," stuff like that. So they can get these other ones. If you'll look, like this one in particular, this is the Cliff's Shop Blocks. It actually says plus 50 milligrams of caffeine in there. It's it gets you going, right?
Yeah,
Stimulant. It works when you're running as well. So Some people like that. I prefer those as well.
I see.
Any little bit helps this fat man run.
All right. Well, so the other thing that's kind of on my mind is like I know when I run, like I am sweating from like almost the moment I get going here. So if you were someone like me, it's just sweating all the time when you're exercising, like is there something special that you might look for? Or
Sure. Yeah, actually, we didn't talk about it yet, but there's actually sodium pellets. We already talked about how much salt is in these things, but you can actually get salt pellets. NAM, for example.
And that's replacing like electrolytes, what you're really basically.
Actually, it's not electrolytes. It's strictly salt.
Just sodium.
It's just sodium. Yeah. It helps your body retain that water and gets it into your muscles. NAM cramps up really quickly.
Okay.
So I think he takes one of these salt pellets about once every 30 minutes or something along those lines. And so that's above and beyond what he's getting in this stuff. So if you're sweating profusely like you are, if you feel it gritty on the side of your head, you probably need to take an extra step to get that actual salt into your body.
Okay, that makes sense. And I guess the other question I got here is just like, I mean, how often are you taking these? Like, how far do you have to run before you're kind of like, this should be part of my equation here?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a couple things to consider. When you're doing a race, this thing, for example, has, I'm just going to count real quick while we're on camera. This has got 6 gummies in it, okay? And essentially what they tell you is you should have like 1 gummy every 40 minutes.
Okay, so it's more like a time thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, your body metabolizes things at a particular rate, so it's just how long does it take to break those things down.
I see.
My recommendation, most people will tell you, like, if you're going to do this, for example, take 2 right about 40 minutes before the start of the race.
Oh, before you even get started?
Yeah,
Okay, interesting. Okay.
So you're going to start with a little bit of energy, and then every 40 minutes after that, only take 1. So you're essentially kind of putting a sort of a base coat down, if you will. And then you're just going to kind of maintain that through. It usually aligns well with your hydration plan, but that'll be a different video. We'll talk about that later.
Okay. And along the nutrition line, I mean, what about like eating before races and things before that? Like, what is typical for that, or what is best practice, I guess?
So there's actually a couple different philosophies right now. One of the ones that's kind of old school, but everybody still sort of points to it, is carb loading. And carbohydrates are slow to digest, and they kind of distribute themselves through your body. So those are like pasta meals the day before, that kind of stuff. Having a giant carbohydrate meal early in the morning before the race, despite having to carry that shit with you for 2 hours, you're not going to feel any of that energy until probably the next day.
Okay.
But the other piece, and again we'll talk about this later, is actually this new concept called hydro loading, which is another sort of similar concept that has more to do with hydration.
Ah, okay. All right, got another question. This one's a little more practical. Like, where do you put this stuff while you're running?
Yeah.
Like, how do you carry it around? Like, what does that look like?
So as I mentioned, this thing has enough blocks in it, honestly, to do a half marathon by itself. So you're really only looking at tracking one of these little packets. On these ones, again, you're doing these about once every 40 minutes or so. So you're looking at, let's say for a 2-hour marathon, you're looking at 3 or 4 of these. I mean, let's just be really honest with yourself for a minute. 3 of those things plus one, versus one of these deals. These things will fit in things like flip belts, or even in your super high tech thing called Pocket. Those typically
I've heard of those.
they come with the razor. So those are some options. Some people wear the vests that have little pockets on the side of them. I prefer not to wear those because I feel like they rub sort of weird. But these things don't weigh a lot, so typically like your Pocket or something along those lines will work.
Okay.
Something simple, but you don't need a ton of them is what's important. Think about how long did it take me to run, and I run about every 40 minutes.
Okay.
So don't overload yourself with a ton of them.
Got it.
And actually, so here's sort of another tip. Most of your well-organized races will actually have these on the run.
I see.
Okay. The difference is going to be you have no control over what brand, what flavor, whether or not it's caffeine. Just
you're at the mercy of whatever it is. Yeah.
So you're welcome to try that out. It's never really worked out well for me.
I gotcha. Okay. Well, I think that's pretty much all my questions. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on before we kind of wrap this thing up?
Yeah. So here's something to consider. You're thinking about I'm preparing for a half marathon.
Yeah.
I need to train my muscles how to run. You need to train your stomach how to eat this stuff. This is high sugar. I don't know if you remember when we were kids, trick-or-treating, and you try to eat half that fucking little pumpkin full of sugar, and you got
damn near succeeded too.
Yeah, but it does bad things to your body. You try to eat all these things the
Yeah.
day of your race, you'll spend as much time in the porta-john as you do on the race.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. So what you need to do is you need to start, even on your small runs, taking 1 or 2 of these at that cadence you're planning.
Okay.
You practice your routine, but it also teaches your stomach, like, yeah, I'm about to subject you to some nasty shit. You need to be ready. And
they don't write that on these.
no, that is not a warning level. This is straight from the mouth of the babes right here. But
Yeah.
but honestly, I think that's what's important
Yeah.
to think about. So you're, for those of us running the Salt Lake City Half Marathon coming up, you're coming up on week 3. Now's the time to start trying out different types, figuring out which ones you like, and essentially just practicing. I'm going to run in an hour. I'm going to take 2 of these, see what that feels like, and then, I put it in my pocket, kept falling out because I got shitty little pants on, or whatever the deal is. Your Speedos are not going to work this time, Paul.
Okay, got it.
But it's practice. It's about practice, and nutrition is part of that. So,
Awesome.
Time to start training on your nutrition, brother.
All right, I'm in.
All
Let's
right.
do this.
Cheers.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. Cheers.